Hello everybody, welcome back to another Expeditions Guide. Today we're taking a look at Dive Headfirst. This is a contract in the Transylvanian Alps. This contract is unlocked after completing Sorry for the Late Reply, and there are no other requirements for it, so we're going to be using the Capricorn. And if you have any questions about my vehicle loadout, you'll find that in the description below. So let's talk a little bit about what we're doing. So we're going to be starting from the field operations base here, and we're going to make our way up through the mountains, follow this path, and we're going to head right on over to this lake. Once we get to the lake, we're going to head up to this northern shore here, and we're going to scan the lake for some objects, after which we're going to head on south, kind of going back the way we came, and head over to this other lake here, and once again, we're going to just scan the water for some artifacts. That's all we have to do for this. That's kind of a layout of what we're going to be doing. So, why don't you buckle up, come along with me, we'll go ahead and get started after I knock all these barrels over. So, what we're going to do is head on south out of the outpost here. And we're just going to follow the path up through the mountains. Now, when we get to the scan points, those are going to be tricky scans, and I'll talk a little bit about those once we actually get there and show you exactly what we're looking for in the water. They are some of the more difficult scanning missions I've seen in Expeditions, and you'll see why when we get there. But for now, we have to travel a little bit, so we're just going to head right up through the snow here. And go ahead and climb this mountain. And once we get to the top of the mountain, we're going to follow the path here. And we're just going to get right down onto these rocks here, just right next to the rocks. Head right on over. And then head on down here. And then we're going to make our way down into this little sinkhole. This is a bit of a tricky spot here, so you want to just be nice and careful. Making your way down to the bottom of the sinkhole, going over the rocks. And then we're just going to go right on over the ice here. And from here we're just going to climb right on up. And once we get up here, we're going to just stay to the left side of this tree here. That is going to keep us out of the snow. Just for a little bit here. But we can't avoid it completely, so right ahead here, we're going to head right down into the snow. I realize that probably jumbled up a little bit, but hopefully that made sense for you guys. But we're going to go right on through the snow here. And once we get around these trees, we're going to head on down through the rocks here. And make our way off the top of this mountain. Kind of pull ourselves on the tree here just to go a little bit quicker. And go right around the corner here and up through the rocks. Right over here, we're going to go up and over the rocks. And then we're going to head on down and into the bog over here. And from here, we're just going to go across this little bog and make our way over to the lake. Right over here, we're going to take a cut through the snow just to stay on that dry ground just a little bit. And make our way down to the lake shore. And that is going to open up those two waypoints that we have to visit. There's one right next to us and one down here for some scanning in the water. This is the altar I told you about. Now scan the bottom of this pool. Now, getting to this pool is a little tricky. So what we're going to do is right over here on the right side, we're just going to go right over the rocks here. right over here. Nice and carefully, we're just going to climb over these rocks. Grab ourselves with that tree there for balance. And keep on going. It's a very, very tricky spot here. It's a very steep drop off in the water, so you can't really use it too much, so that leaves us with the rocks. Alright, so once we get over here, we're going to scan the water, and what we're looking for is an artifact right here. And then the second one is right over here, and you want to be kind of right on the edge of it. And that will give you both. Now, you only have 2 scans to do this, so if you can't find the objects or you're having trouble getting to the same spot, you can just go ahead and skip the scan if you need to. There's no shame in that. Whole settlement was built around this altar, but the rest of it was flooded. We need to take a closer look at the lake bed. So, with that being said, it is time to get turned around and make our way over to the second lake to do some more scanning. So, we're just going to go ahead and back up here. And we're just going to back ourselves right up the hill here. And we need to go back across this treacherous terrain here. Just going to go right back across the rocks here. And for some reason, going this way, it's a lot easier on the rocks. You saw going to the scan point, a little bit more difficult than trying to get away from it. But there are plenty of trees there, and I do have an anchor drone as well. So, you need to use the winch and some anchors to kind of balance yourself getting over those rocks. That's perfectly fine and acceptable to do. In fact, I highly recommend it. But for now, we're going to go ahead and make our way to the next lake, which means we have to go back through the swamp again. So we're just going to navigate through here, just trying to go from high spot to high spot, stay out of the mud. Best we can, anyway. And then from here, we're going to head up the hill, and instead of going to the right up the rocks, we're going to go to the left. We're just going to go right on through the snow and the rocks here, and up and over this hill. We got a little bit of snow to cross through, but nothing too terrible. But we're just going to make our way through the snow. The lake is right pretty much straight ahead. There's not really too many obstacles between us, so you can pretty much just take a straight line here. Once we get in the middle here, that'll get us up out of the snow for just a moment here. And we're just going to go for another dry spot right here on the left. Just kind of aiming for those spots without snow or very little snow, just to kind of keep the vehicle speed up a little bit so you're not just kind of burying yourself in the snow. Right over here, we're just going to head straight on over to the lake. Just going to go right around the snow pile here. Just right on up the rocks, and that is going to take us to our second scan location. Now this one is a little trickier. There's a big rock right here, another rock right here, and another rock right here. That is 3 rocks with 2 scan points. So the first scan point you're going to want to put is right in between those 2 rocks. And that'll be right there. And then the second one will be right there. And that was off just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and try right there. That is perfect. You want to get this just on the circle there. And that will let you know you got enough scan there. And then grab the bricks. And most potential findings around here are submerged. So we'll have to do a lot of digging to get anything of value out for further study. I wish we had a crane or a digger. And there you go. That is going to complete Dive Headfirst. Hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I'll see you in the wilds. Bye-bye.